What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Truliner, and today we're flipping the script on history. We all know the kings and conquerors, but what about the women whose stories barely made the footnotes? Today, we're spotlighting real-life female warriors, queens, samurai, and leaders who changed the world. These women broke every rule, led armies, and inspired generations. So grab your snacks and get comfy. We're about to meet some of the most legendary women you've never heard of. Let's dive in. Our journey begins in the heart of feudal Japan, during the turbulent 12th century, a time of warlords, shifting alliances, and epic battles. Here, we meet a figure who defied every expectation, Tomo Gozen. Tomo wasn't just another samurai, she rose to become a top general commanding over 1,000 seasoned warriors for the powerful Lord Minamoto no Yoshinaka. Her leadership was legendary, her presence on the battlefield impossible to ignore. The tale of the Heike, Japan's epic chronicle, describes her as both beautiful and terrifying, a rare combination. She was a warrior so formidable it was said she could face demons or gods without flinching. Tomo mastered the sword, the bow, and the art of riding. Her skills were unmatched, and her reputation struck fear into the hearts of her enemies. She trained relentlessly, earning respect from even the most hardened samurai. Her most legendary moment came during the fierce Battle of Owazu in 1184, a turning point in her story and in Japanese history. Outnumbered and facing certain defeat, her lord ordered her to escape. But Tomo refused to abandon the fight. Instead, she charged headlong into a group of 30 enemy samurai, her courage shining through the chaos. She singled out the strongest among them, pulled him from his horse with her bare hands, and beheaded him, an act of sheer strength and skill that became the stuff of legend. Then, with the same calm resolve, she rode away from the battlefield, her fate shrouded in mystery. No one knows for sure what became of her. Some say Tomo became a Buddhist nun, seeking peace after a life of war. Others believe she started a family, passing her strength to future generations. But no matter the ending, her legend endures. Tomo Gozen proved that women could be as fierce, skilled, and honorable as any man on the battlefield. She broke barriers that seemed unbreakable. She shattered expectations, becoming a symbol of power, resilience, and determination in a world ruled by men. Every swing of her sword was a declaration. She belonged on the battlefield, and she would not be denied her place in history. Tomo Gozen isn't just a story from the past, she's living proof that true strength knows no gender, and that courage can change the world. Her name still inspires awe and respect centuries after her time. She's remembered in temples, stories, and the hearts of those who value bravery. Tomo is a reminder, never underestimate the power, resolve, or spirit of a woman with a sword in her hand. Tomo's legacy is one of unmatched courage, defiance, and the will to fight for what she believed in, no matter the odds. She stands as an enduring icon of female power, inspiring generations to challenge the status quo. Her story is a lesson for the ages, a tale of bravery, resilience, and the unbreakable spirit of a true warrior. Let's keep her legend alive, and remember Tomo Gozen as the samurai who broke every mold and changed history forever. Next, we're in 17th century Angola, meeting the remarkable Queen Nzinga Mbande, a woman whose story is as fierce as it is inspiring. Nzinga rose to power at a time when the Portuguese were invading her homeland, determined to enslave her people and seize control of Angola's rich resources. She wasn't born the heir, but her intelligence, political savvy, and relentless grit made her the leader her kingdom desperately needed. At a tense peace meeting, the Portuguese tried to humiliate her by offering only a floor mat to sit on, hoping to show her as inferior. Nzinga, quick-witted and proud, turned her servant into a human chair, meeting the governor eye to eye and refusing to be diminished. The message was clear: she was no one's subordinate, and she demanded respect on her own terms. When diplomacy failed, Nzinga didn't hesitate. She led her armies herself, even into her 60s, riding into battle as both a queen and a general. She forged powerful alliances, moved her capital to stay one step ahead, and turned Matamba into a sanctuary for the oppressed and enslaved. Nzinga was both a fierce warrior and a masterful diplomat, always adapting her strategy to outmaneuver her enemies and protect her people. For 40 relentless years, she fought, outsmarting the Portuguese and defending her kingdom from colonization and exploitation. Her reign finally ended with a hard-won peace treaty that secured her kingdom's sovereignty and dignity. Nzinga died in her 80s, undefeated in spirit, her legacy echoing through generations. She stands as the ultimate example of resistance, leadership, and the power of a determined woman. Nzinga's story is about power, resilience, and an unbreakable love for her people, a legacy that still inspires today. She refused to be colonized, standing firm against every attempt to break her will. Her intelligence and courage changed the course of history. Nzinga's legacy, unbreakable, unforgettable, and truly legendary. She's a legend who deserves to be remembered. Let's honor her story and let her courage inspire us all. Now, ancient Britain, 60 AD, the Romans ruled, until they crossed Boudica. Boudica, queen of the Iceni, saw her land stolen and her family brutalized by Rome. Instead of breaking, she ignited a rebellion. She united tribes, rallied an army over 100,000 strong, and burned Roman cities to the ground. Her vengeance left a literal layer of destruction archaeologists still find today. For a moment it seemed she might drive Rome out for good. But the Romans regrouped, and in a final brutal battle, Boudica's forces were crushed. Rather than be captured, she took her own life, choosing freedom over submission. Boudica's story is tragic, but her defiance shook the world's greatest empire. She fought for her people, her family, and her dignity, her legacy, a queen who dared to stand against Rome. Boudica's name still burns with the fire of rebellion. She's a symbol of resistance and courage. Her story is a rallying cry for justice. Boudica proved one woman's rage could shake an empire. She's a legend of freedom. Remember her name. Let's sail back in time to the dramatic 5th century BC, an era defined by the legendary Greco-Persian Wars, where empires clashed and heroes were forged. Meet Artemisia I of Korea, a woman whose courage and cunning set her apart from all others. She ruled her own territory with authority and commanded powerful warships for the mighty king Xerxes, earning his trust and respect. In a world where women were expected to stay in the shadows, Artemisia shattered norms by leading her fleet boldly into battle. At the pivotal Battle of Salamis, she was the only commander brave enough to warn Xerxes against fighting in the narrow straits, foreseeing the danger ahead. Xerxes ignored her wise counsel, and disaster struck as the Persian fleet was thrown into chaos and defeat. Amidst the confusion, Artemisia's quick thinking saved her. She rammed a friendly ship, deceiving the Greeks into believing she was an ally, and slipped away, unharmed. Xerxes, watching from the shore, was so impressed by her daring that he famously declared, "My men have become women, and my women men." After the crushing defeat, Xerxes turned to Artemisia for advice. She told him to retreat, and this time he listened to her wisdom. Artemisia was not just a survivor, but a master strategist and a commander who earned respect through sheer skill and determination. She broke every expectation of her time, standing tall among men who doubted her and proving them wrong at every turn. Her intelligence, nerve, and tactical brilliance made her legendary, inspiring stories for generations to come. Artemisia's story is about daring to lead when no one expects you to, and about the power of defying the odds. She proved that women could command fleets, shape the course of history, and leave a mark that endures through the ages. Her legacy, fearless leadership and unbreakable resolve. Artemisia's name belongs among the greats, remembered as a trailblazer who changed the tides of history. She's the pirate queen who outsmarted kings, and her legend still inspires those who dare to lead. 19th century American Southwest, meet Lozin, Apache warrior and spiritual leader. Lozin rejected traditional roles, choosing the path of the warrior. She was said to have a divine gift, sensing the enemy's location through prayer. This made her invaluable in guerrilla warfare. Her brother, Chief Victorio, called her his right hand, braver and stronger than most men. Lozin fought in countless battles, respected for her courage and skill. She was a master horse rider, sharpshooter, and protector. Once she risked everything to save a mother and newborn, guiding them through enemy lines to safety. After Victorio's death, Lozin joined Geronimo, continuing the fight for Apache freedom. She was eventually captured and died in prison, far from her homeland. Lozin broke every gender norm, both in her culture and to her enemies. She was a holy woman, a prophet, and a warrior. Her story is one of strength, spirit, and sacrifice. Lozin's legacy is resistance and hope. She inspired her people to fight for survival. Her courage endures. Remember Lozin. 13th century Mongolia. Enter Kutulun, great-great-granddaughter of Genghis Khan. She was a master of archery, horsemanship, and wrestling, undefeated by any man. Her challenge: beat her in wrestling, win her hand. Lose, give her 100 horses. Suitors left empty-handed, and Kutulun amassed thousands of horses. Marco Polo wrote of her strength and agility. But Kutulun was more than a wrestler. She was a battlefield commander riding with her father, Kaidu. She snatched enemies from horseback and led troops to victory. Kaidu wanted her as his successor, but tradition blocked her path. After his death, her power faded, but her legend grew. Kutulun defied every expectation of a Mongol princess. She was a strategist, a leader, and a champion. Her story is about strength, on the mat and in battle. Kutulun proved a woman's power could shape empires. She's a symbol of defiance and skill. Her legend lives on. Kutulun's name means victory. She earned it. 3rd century Vietnam, under Chinese rule, the people suffered. Enter Trieu Thi Trinh, Lady Trieu, the Vietnamese Joan of Arc. Orphaned young, she trained in martial arts and strategy, refusing to accept a life of servitude. Her famous words, "I only want to ride the wind and walk the waves, slay the big whales and save the people." At 19, she raised an army and led a rebellion, riding into battle on an elephant in golden armor. She won over 30 battles, inspiring her people and terrifying the Chinese. The Chinese called her the Lady General in Golden Robe. Eventually her forces were overwhelmed. Rather than be captured, she took her own life. Lady Trieu became a martyr and a symbol of Vietnamese resistance. Her legacy inspired generations of freedom fighters. Temples honor her, and her story is told to children today. She proved one woman's courage could ignite a revolution. Lady Trieu's spirit lives on. There you have it, Tomoe, Nzinga, Boudica, Artemisia, Lozen, Kutulun, and Lady Trieu. 7 women who led, fought, and changed history. Their stories remind us that history is richer and more diverse than we're taught. These legends deserve the spotlight, but they're just the beginning. History is full of forgotten female warriors. Share your favorite in the comments and let's build a library of legends together. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay inspired. Until next time, remember the power to change history is in all of us.